Hey guys, welcome to Waste Not Wednesday. We go live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. to take leftover items, junk, things that we thrift and turn them into home decor. Today, Zeb was using scrap wood, yes?
Yes, we still have about 5 or 6 leftover ends after this from the last craft kit. And these are just 1x10 pine. And then this was a scrap piece of butcher block that I had that I kind of just like shaped the ends and gave it a little more interest than just being square.
So I'm going to give you this one because I want these. Do you have a drill?
Oh, do you want to put holes in there?
Those. Yeah.
I do have a drill.
Okay.
Let me go get the drill. And there's a couple of sharp edges I don't love. I'll get some sandpaper.
Okay. I'll tell you guys what I'm going to do while he's doing that. Sorry, last minute I was like on Pinterest this morning while luxuriating in bed, as I often do. And I found a couple ideas. One was these cutting boards and they had like flowers on the front. They were hand painted. Of course, I'm not going to do that. And like fun colors. And I thought, what about doing like a front that's decorated and then doing the back like food safe? Because you don't submerge your cutting boards anyways. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a really cute spring front with paint and transfers and a stamp. And then the back is just going to be food safe. So you could actually use it as a cutting board if you want to. I know that Christmas is next week. We're super excited for it. I'm actually going to leave my Christmas decor up. I usually take it down the day after Christmas, but Harrington's coming after Christmas this year. So the next week, though, that week after Christmas, New Year's week, I will be redecorating at least this front area for the new year. And so I'm already starting to kind of run some ideas. I've actually already bought my new bedding for the year because I have Christmas bedding on right now and we got new bedding. And so that's what I'm working on. And people always think you're not enjoying the season that you're in. I love Christmas. We do Advent every night. We go look at Christmas lights. I'm super excited to open presents and see all my family. But as a designer, decorator, influencer, whatever you want to call me, or just person who is a home decor enthusiast, I'm always planning ahead because we make so much of our decor that I have to start planning ahead because it takes a long time. I'm not just going out and buying everything. So we're going to be using a food safe stain. Oil-based stains are not food safe, as you know. So we're using Sweet Pickins milk paint in Suitcase. And I'm just doing a really watered down version of that. And we'll use that as a stain on it. And then I'm also going to be using, I had to get a new one because I don't know where ours is, the Kindest Regards stamp. And then the Rose Botanical transfer. And then I think I might use on the front either milk paint or cottage color underneath the transfer. So we'll see how far we get. I don't think we need to. I really only want to do the floral on the ones with handles.
Okay.
And then we can just make those like traditional cutting boards.
Yeah, I just had a bunch of scraps, so I cut some stuff up.
Are we going to build a new hood vent? No. So when we get the new stove, we're just going to center it. It's just going to be off slightly.
It's off by like 1.5 inches
on each side. So it'll actually, like this hood vent is wider than our stove. So we have space on each side. The new stove will just be 1 inch wider than the hood vent. And I've done some research and I've seen a lot of kitchens that have it like that and it looks okay. I can't even imagine. Okay, this was like a labor of love because we did not even have a plan. We just kind of, like, I was like, I kind of want it to look like this. And we started building and then we just kind of.
I just pieced it up there. I built one part and then Jamie's like, more embellishments. And so I built another part.
Let's make it more.
She's like, can you do a shelf out on the front, like, so I can hang some stuff? I'm like, let's keep going.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, the day that I realized it was perfectly centered on our front walkway, like when you walk up our front, we have like these cement pavers. They're like giant that we poured. When you walk up our front walkway, this is perfectly centered. And we didn't even plan it.
And then at the very top, once we got all said and done, I had to hide the actual vent because it is functional and has a vent up under there as it went up out the roof. So
yes, these cutting boards are going to be for sale. I might keep one. We did list everything. If you watched yesterday's Paint-A-Palooza, quite a few things have sold, but some things are still available. I think we sold my big cement urn, and Nadine bought the carousel horse. I think the sunflower tote is still available. So, yep.
I'm just knocking off some edges. I want them to be really nice and rounded so that it doesn't look like I just went out and cut these in the barn. I think we can get there with that.
And if you don't want to use it for cutting, that's fine. Whatever, it doesn't bother me. We're just going to make it so that way it's food safe on one side and the other side is for cutesy. So I've watered this down about 10 parts water to 1 part milk paint instead of 1 to 1. And so we've got kind of a washed out look on here. If you want it to be darker, just do multiple coats or do a little less water. You can also use zinc if you want like a grayed out tone. I think suitcase is a really good medium tone. It's what we have on our dining table.
She's
really
talking
warm.
about the color zinc.
So yeah, the color zinc. So here's with the 10 to 1 and here's the natural wood. You could also just leave it natural and seal it with a tung oil. That would be really pretty. So also, Caitlin, do we still have some of these sweatshirts? I love it. Like, it's one of my favorites. It's super cozy. Oh, I thought you were going to put holes in them.
I am. I can do that after you stain them.
Okay. I like the fit. Like, this one is a small, but it's oversized enough that I don't feel like it's super tight. And on the back, it's got a smiley face. And on the back, it says, I can't remember. If you're reading this, I hope good things happen to you today. I feel like, especially in the holiday season, people get a little crazy. So it's nice to have a nice thing on your shirt. Just remind them. We hope they have a good day. I haven't seen any crazy people. And I actually haven't been one of those crazy holiday moms for a long time. I do not overemphasize traditions to the point where it puts stress on me. Like, if they happen, great. If we've already missed a few days of Advent and had to catch up.
Sorry, we always circle back.
We always circle back. My kids don't care. It's fine. It's a very busy time for us because it's basketball season and wrestling season. So if we have a late night or whatever, it's just not a big deal.
And Eliza has competitions and she cheers at wrestling and basketball.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, life is always busy, right? But I don't like to add undue stress. For the first time ever, Eliza and I have matching Christmas dresses, and they are adorable. I'm super excited for that.
I'm just going to eyeball this. If you ever look at old antique cutting boards, they are not symmetrical. They are not shaped perfectly. They were cutting them out with hand tools, and it was a tool, and they just needed them to be able to have a little bit of a handle, hang somewhere, and be able to cut stuff on without ruining their countertops.
Caitlin says, our tradition is we spend time together and spread love and kindness. We can keep those things each year. Right on. Yep. Like, the few things that I don't think I've ever missed is tamales. And then recently we added donuts, which you've done donuts off and on, but it's become more regular to do homemade donuts.
All right. So I'm going to have a little bit of sawdust on here. So if you noticed, I was going slow and I pushed really hard against this bottom board. That keeps it from tearing out when you get done with your cut. If I really wanted it to be nice, I would have clamped it and that would have held it even tighter. But I'm about to sand this all around that
I like
hole.
how irregular that side is.
Yeah, well, that broke off while I was sanding it.
Well, perfect.
And I'm like, well, that worked good.
That worked to our advantage. Hey, Cortrina. I just put a couple things on your shelf yesterday that we were pulling. Cortrina's got a shelf going because she's going to be out of town for a bit. So we've got all of her stuff pulled. What paint to use to paint lamps stem? The blackest looks plastic white currently. If it's plastic white, you might want to just try like a black spray paint. If you're wanting to use like a brushed on paint, the only good one that I would say that would just like work pretty easily would probably be our Anvil, but it's not like a black. So if you want it to be even blacker, you could add black DIY paint to it or just take it as it comes. Dealer choice on that. If you're wanting to use what we have, that's what I would do. I really like Anvil. Okay. I think maybe not this week, but then not next week, because next week's Wednesday is Christmas, but the week after I want to do a bunch of boxes, like table boxes, because I want one for my table because I'll be switching out what I've got for Christmas, which I've actually changed what I have for Christmas. even since the Christmas video, because I ordered a red transferware ironstone platter from France, and I wound up not being able to fit my copper jug on the table, so I had to swap to like a white enamel. So it's changed a little bit. And next week I won't have any centerpiece because the kids set up ping pong, and that pretty much lives on my dining table while they're home for the holiday break. Well, I don't know. Sometimes we take it down because the kids start arguing. Rays are slightly competitive.
Yeah, it doesn't always. Usually they're good for like a few days, and then they make up all these like weird, different, varying rules and stuff. And like, who can keep track of that?
Trying to get the stain down in the little hole there.
You got to pull the corner of the rag through it.
Fine. I use my little pinky finger. Your fingers are your best tools. What color am I using? It's Suitcase. It's watered down.
That's Sweet Pickens.
Sweet Pickens Suitcase.
All right, you'll have to go back in.
And if you want to know the color of the month, which is always the best deal, it's 35% off. It's basil and creamy for the month of December. So really good colors.
Got 2 this month.
To stock up on for the new year. Basil is a really great, almost neutral green, if that makes sense. Like it's not like a bright in your face green. It's really natural and organic. And creamy is just a great cream color. And you can take creamy if you want to like oxidize your wood and water that down, and use creamy as a stain would be really pretty too. And don't forget that we have till Christmas, we've got the gift card, our annual gift card sale going on. If you buy 50, you get 10. If you buy 100, you get 20, 150, you get 30. And it takes 48 hours for the code, and you can't use it on DIY paint. And you can't stack it. The code can't be stacked with another discount. This is really cool. I like the vein.
Yeah, and then
through there.
It had a little, it was almost sawdusty in there, like powdery, so I had to sand it out, so it's got a divot.
All right, now I'm gonna have to restain this little area. Sorry guys, this is taking me a minute to get through this. Do you want to start like making sure they're dry and then figuring out what color we want to put? I want to do a darker color because I want to stamp in white ink, and then I want to put the floral on top of it.
Okay, I really think Americana would look good for that, since we're going for like a spring vibe.
Well, I was thinking Americana, juniper, and like anvil.
Okay.
Because black and these
Do you
floral
want to
looks good
tone?
because look at the cover.
Let's tone the juniper down with some white.
Okay. I'll let you make those color choices, and then
Spring's
I'll get the
more-
stamp ready while you're painting them.
Spring's more of like a pastels.
I mean, we can do what we want. Did we want to do a pink one? Because we talked about doing a pink
Oh,
one.
yeah, let's do one.
Vintage pink and crockery to kind of.
Yeah, do some mixes.
All right. I'll let you have fun mixing the colors. You like to be a little mixologist. It's not going to be perfect in the whole. It's just the way it is. All right. Let me get this one done, and then we'll get started doing some colors. I'm hoping we can get these. Oh, it's only 10:18. So we've got time. I'm super excited. If you're local, hopefully I get them by Saturday and get them out on the floor. I ordered, do you guys know what wormies are? They are like a stuffed animal that has lavender in it, and you can heat them up in the microwave. I'm going to start carrying those in the shop because my kids love them. I probably should have ordered them a long time ago, but we'll have them plenty in stock for you guys to get for Valentine's Day and Easter. But anyways, those are being shipped in this week. Caitlin already sent me what my nephews need. And then if you're local, you can probably pick them up Saturday. If they just shipped yesterday, so I think we'll have them by Friday.
I don't think I can shake this one. This one's going to need stirred.
Deb, did you use a 1x10?
Yeah.
That's what we had left over from the craft
That's
kits.
what was left over. You could go any size. I mean, 1x12, you're going to get even wider. And I only had, I think they were like 12-inch, maybe 13 inches long. So they're not super big. That's why they're kind of more square than long.
And yeah, my kids' wormies that they have are pretty scraggly too. They need to be replaced. And my girls love them for that special time of the month.
So do you want me to go? I'm thinking it would be a good idea to sand these down, like paint them, dry them, sand them, pretty
Distress them a
heavy
little.
distress before we do
And
the
then we
effect
can
on
put
them.
more suitcase on it if
Because
it goes through.
yeah, I think that'll make it give like an old look.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find the pin that I sent you. I texted them this morning for kind of what we're going for. If you don't follow Jamie Ray Vintage on Pinterest, you should, because we have fun stuff. I need to actually save these to my pin board. So, okay, stop. Okay, all the things popping up. So here, can you guys see that? Hopefully it's not too glary. That is kind of what we're going for. And then I also sent him, these are the boxes that I want to make next week. Stop. All these things popping up. I got to talk. Do you guys talk to your phone? I talk to mine. And then these are the boxes.
That lid is not on the
Sorry,
vintage
if that
pink
picture
well.
sucks, I will try to share it in stories later, and then I'll also pin those two on Pinterest. But that's kind of what I was inspired by. So.
Okay, so I have vintage pink. We're gonna say a tablespoon's worth, and then I'm gonna add some crockery. We'll see what we get. I might just need to go white, but it was kind of like a creamy peachy color that I wanted to, you know, like 40s, 50s vibes. Oh, we're going to have to add a lot more pink to that.
Hurley should compensate Zeb for advertising. Yes, Hurley, Volcom. He's been wearing the same brand since he was a teenager. Somebody's like, Zeb needs to have a makeover. I'm like, he dresses how he wants.
I'm not.
And he does have like plaid shirts that he wears when we're going out and stuff, or for like daily wear. Why is he gonna dress up for that?
I mean, when we used to do custom work, there were days where I like wore pajamas. Like I wasn't gonna see anybody. I wasn't leaving the garage, and I was comfy.
Paint pajamas, fleece paint pajamas. They looked real special.
They were pretty ratty.
I had whole paint outfits. I made videos in them. I'm sure you guys have seen them. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I love this like butcher block one.
All right,
we're gonna have lots more butcher block cutting boards coming out because we will repurpose all of our back countertops when we remodel the kitchen.
Well, and those have got the good age on them and complete with cuts from some random kid that won't fess up.
Some random kid named Jack. They have complete with Ray patina. We're going to put marble like remnants back there.
Okay, so we ended up with like, it's not super pink. I might add a little more. But it's like a really light creamy taupe color.
They wanted to know if you're feeling better. I think Zeb is. I am almost 100%. I'm still a little, I didn't take any meds last night because I'm trying to not see how I do without them. And I'm a little, I got a little bit of a runny nose, but I'm feeling a lot better. How are you feeling?
Yeah.
You need more pink.
Yeah, I'm coming in with more pink right now.
That looks like flesh tights.
This is very thick on this pink.
The lid has not.
The lid was not
secured.
on tight. Look at this. It's like I added paint frosting into it.
The nice thing about using a suitcase is you don't have to when you use stain, you have to use wood conditioner. Not necessary for this application. Let's try this. Okay. One more to go. And then I can help paint them too because I'm going to be done here in a second.
All right.
And it'll kind of be good to put this suitcase over the top to kind of give it an aged effect. We'll see how that works out.
Okay, just dip right here in the spot because I don't want it to get more crockery than pink.
Well, you're gonna be in charge of the pink one.
Oh, all right, I'll do it.
Do we have any more pink, or is that as pink as that can go?
Oh, it can go way pink, but I'm gonna try it first. We might end up with a coat or two.
Okay. Marlene says, I love my woomies. Yeah, they're great. I love anything that's like cozy. I am gonna try I'm thinking about the new year, what I want to do. I'm gonna try once we get like all of our new hires really trained well and I'm not shipping as often, to really focus on our clothing section because I'm like, I feel like I do have some cute things, but it's not truly indicative of like what I'm personally wearing on a regular basis. But it takes a lot of time to like vet out companies that I want to carry. So I'm going to work on that. Zeb and I actually talked about going, like they have a show in Vegas where you can see all the stuff in real life. So I'm going to be doing that this next year. And I'm going to spend some time going to other similar boutiques to see what's trending, what people are liking, because it's sometimes I'm obviously not going to copy them, but just like see what they're carrying to get ideas. It's like market research. Okay, that's done. I'll leave that over there to fix that. Thanks, Joe Sal says you guys have come a long way in the past 2 years. We've been having a lot of fun, and sometimes people are like, well, you're not doing what you used to do. And I'm like, it's actually okay, because I don't know about you guys, but we get bored. We like to do different things. Like we used to do a lot of furniture, and we still do furniture,
and the market
but not
has
every
changed.
week.
Like the market is not like big pieces of furniture like it used to be.
Well, we sell more furniture spring and fall. So like in the spring, as we sell more furniture, we'll paint more furniture. But I'm not interested in doing projects just to do projects or repainting stuff that I think is totally cute. I'm just going to wait till the right person finds it. So you will see paint videos coming up. But we have a couple thousand videos. And anything that we do on a small scale, you can do on furniture.
Okay, so it's hard to tell on camera, but it does have like some pink hues to it, which I didn't want it to be like bright in your face pink. I wanted it to be like a light, springy, creamy pink.
So
color.
that one we're not going to use the white ink on though, right?
No.
Okay, I'm going to go straight up juniper, I think.
I'm going to heat gun this and then run it outside and hit it with some 220 on the sander. And then we might do like the whole effect. I don't know. Maybe are we going to oil over the top of the transfers again?
Yeah, we can oil over the top of it. It's
okay.
fine. You just don't want to oil under it.
And I didn't go all the way up on the handle because I'm going to sand it a lot and distress it.
Here's this one. And then I'll do this one black. And then I'm going to prep my stamp while you're sanding it. Oh, shoot.
Little sandpaper. Actually, you could probably hit it with a wet cloth.
I did not want that there. Well, I guess the whole thing's getting another.
It's okay.
I'll move it further away from the splatter zone. There we go. Sorry, I'm using this as a napkin. You know, the other, sorry, in case you haven't noticed, I'm probably sure you have, I got braces last week. Is that my anvil?
This is your anvil. It's pretty.
And one of the things that I wasn't prepared for was the fact that I can't bite my nails, and my nails grow pretty fast because I mean, if you're over 40 with a thyroid problem, you're going to be taking hair, skin, and nail supplements. So I take that, and my nails have grown so fast that I can't bite them with my braces. So I'm going to have to like cut and file my nails. I do not live a long nail life.
Okay, I'm going to run this outside. I'm leaving my mic. Don't let me forget to put that back on.
This project is not going to take very much paint.
I'm going to sand this one so Jamie can start embellishing it, and then I'll work on getting these other ones dry.
I will heat gun these while you're gone.
Okay. Probably going to take me too long. I'll be right back.
I hope he sands them good. Like, I want lots of sanding. I want it to look really aged. I might have to do 2 coats of this black. It doesn't look streaky. So Anvil is a pretty good black, but it isn't like super dark black. It's not as black as Little Black Dress. I'm slowly in the process of redoing all my doors this color because I like it. Let's get this one done. So Deb can take it and sand it. The cottage colors will dry darker. If you're used to DIY paint, that dries lighter. Also, if you are wanting any DIY paint in the darker colors, order now because the warehouse is out of the base for the darker colors. We keep a good stock of it, so I think we'll be okay. But if there's a project that you specifically need the darker colors for, anything that would need a dark base, make sure you get that ordered. I think they're getting more in January, so it won't be that big of a delay.
Maybe I took too much off.
What? Yeah. I think it maybe add a little bit more.
The sun is just like bright on it.
It's just such a pale color. I'm like bubbling that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
We are ready for Christmas other than wrapping, so that's got to happen. The kids are all like getting to the point where they're not doing much at school, so the older kids probably won't be going to school after today unless they got to turn projects in.
Well, grades are all in. They're basically like hanging out watching movies until the break.
So, but that's okay because they're old enough that we can lock ourselves in our room and wrap presents.
Okay.
They can manage their own business for a hot minute.
Here.
Normally, in years past, I've just given my daughter cash and she buys a lot of her own stuff. But this year she gave us a list. And so she's excited to not know exactly what she's getting. Same with Redrick. He gave us a list. Pretty sure Jack's been peeking. There's only one thing that he won't know. And that's we got him a bike because his got stolen. If you've been following us for a while, you heard about that debacle. And so we were at Target the other night and we got a new bike for him.
I'll tell it again real quick. It's not a long story. I gave him a chain to lock his bike up at school. And I wasn't really worried about getting like stolen and just, get him in the practice of if you're going to ride your bike around, lock it up.
Because he's left it out in the front yard for months at a time, never been stolen.
Yeah. Anyway, we picked him up to take him somewhere. I can't even remember, like an orthodontist appointment or something. He didn't make it back to school. Redrick goes back to the school later with him to go grab the bike.
It was overnight. That's what happened.
Overnight?
Yeah.
And the bike's not there, but the lock is still there and it hasn't been undone. Well, he had just looped it over the handlebars and hadn't passed it through any metal pieces or parts. And so the bike was just chilling there with like.
Oh, you don't have your mic.
Lock.
I moved it.
Going back out. They can probably hear me fine.
They probably didn't hear your story.
No, they heard it enough.
Did you not hear his story? He's going back out. Did you guys hear his story? If you didn't, I'll tell you the story. Essentially, Jack just wrapped it around his handlebars and did not actually lock up his bike. He left the bike at the school overnight because we picked him up early for some reason. I can't remember why, and it got stolen. So he's been without a bike for a hot minute. I think he learned his lesson. And we were at Target just getting some like family presents because we like to do we have our ping pong game and we like to do things like that. So I picked up glow in the dark bowling. I picked up these games where you throw a tennis ball back and forth, and I think one more thing. And then we saw the bike and I was like, let's go ahead and get him a bike. We'd actually already bought him another present that was kind of a big present, but instead of that being for him, that big present is now going to be a family present, which I actually like better because then nobody fights over who's using it. And if I get tired of it, I can sell it. It's kind of like when we buy when we bought quads because we sold our mini bikes and our go-kart. And the guy was like, oh, is this a Christmas present? I'm like, heck no, that's too expensive. I'm not buying a $3,000 quad for a Christmas present. I'm like, and if I want to sell it, I don't want my kid to be like, well, that money is mine because it was my Christmas present. So things like that are family things.
Okay.
Sorry, this is like a little.
This is much better. I kind of just sanded around. And it's really not showing up pink on camera. You're just going to have to trust me.
Trust.
I think once we put the dark mixture on there, because we're not going to go water, we're going to go with the hemp or the tongue oil, right?
Well, I don't think I'm going to do suitcase on the top. I think we'll just do tongue oil.
Just tongue oil.
Okay, this is ready to be sanded too.
Well, you can add some suitcase to the tongue oil.
Okay. You can do whatever you want to. I'll let you.
I'll experiment.
All right. So this I'm not going to stamp because I really want to use white ink, like my inspiration picture. What is the fun family game you mentioned yesterday? Was it the Velcro things that you put on your hand and you can pass the tennis ball back and forth? That's what Deb and I grew up with. They're like $4.99 at Target. I wish I knew the name of them. It's upstairs, or I would go grab it. But it's just essentially almost looks like a ping pong paddle, but it's just round and doesn't have a handle. It has a little slide for your hand. It's all Velcro, and you can throw balls and just catch it. It's what we like. It was super popular when we were kids, and I was so surprised. It was $4.99. You get 2 handheld paddles and a tennis ball. So we bought 2 of them. Yeah, that's the one, Leslie. Oh, good. Okay. So this is the stamp we're going to be using. I'm going to get it prepped while I wait for Zeb, and then I'll start. Sorry. So when you get, this is the kindest regard stamp we have. It's been one of the most popular, most used stamps ever. I just don't know where ours is. You want to sand it to give it some tooth so the ink sticks. So I'm just prepping my stamp here, and it's all one page, so you do not need to take it off the backer.
These are showing up much better. And now
I'm going to let you stamp them, and I will start doing transfers.
I'm just going to take.
Ooh, I like that.
I just want to hit the edges.
Okay. Don't get that.
Flat sander on it.
And then here's the ink that we need for that. Okay. So now we're going to get to the fun part. Decorizing them with the Rose Botanical. If you don't like roses, you could totally swap this out. Yesterday I was using, what did I use? Painterly. The big sunflowers would be so cute on here. Or Lover of Flowers has some great options for non-rose floral. I almost grabbed Lover of Flowers, but I love roses, so that's what I'm using. Oh, Mike. Where's your mic at?
It's in the mother. I'll grab it in a second.
Okay. Sanding near the transfer. Yes, don't sand. Don't get dust. Actually, you know what? That's Polari Mom. Thanks for mentioning that. That's a good thing if you're new to transfers. Make sure you're removing sanding dust before you're putting them down. It's just like using a sticker or anything like that. You really want to get that residual dust off so it has the best hope of sticking. So it just looks like old worn wood. These are fun. Leslie, you know I'm talking to you. Leslie's my girl that doesn't love roses. I actually already have my rose catalog. Zeb and I have been reviewing it for choices for next year.
Jamie lets me know where she wants them in all the colors, and I plant.
And I'm really obsessed with David Austin roses. And you have to order them earlier. You will not get them. They will sell out of the best ones. Like I pay for them now and get them months later.
Yeah, I think our last ones came in like April.
Well, because you can't plant them before then anyways.
The ones we have now are up against the house, and it must be protecting them from freezing, or they're really resilient because they still have green leaves on them.
Probably. Yeah, they do.
And it has definitely been getting cold. We've been down in the teens.
My yellow climbing roses.
Why is there a tennis
so I'm
ball
using
in
this
the
yellow rose because I thought it would be pretty on this pale pink in honor of my David Austin climbing roses on the cottage. Maybe those roses will be up the side of the cottage before we ever get it finished. So I'm going to put it so it's not floating, and that actually fits pretty well perfect on here. Meant to be.
Oh, this is
There's my transfer sticks. So they come with transfer sticks in them. They're plastic or resin, whatever. They're like a hard applicator. If you ever can't find yours, you can use the back of a spoon or whatever. I've used my fingernail. There are a lot of options, but they come with one. And then the more you buy, you save them, and you just have them in every drawer. And you find a myriad of other uses for them.
All right. So this is the mixing white, not to be confused with the erasable chalk white that looks almost identical. The mixing white is a white ink.
Well, it's permanent as opposed to chalk, which is made to be erasable. Which I have sealed over the chalk when it dried, and it's been fine. But it's best to use the correct product. You guys know we're kind of rebels. We do what we want. But we're also prepared for the results that may happen, because with every action, there's a reaction. This is going to be pretty. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually seal up both sides. Do you think maybe I should put a liquid sealer on this one side? So that way if it gets wet, it's...
No, what I would do is I would...
Well, that will dry hard, yeah?
Let's tint the tongue. Well, yeah, it dries very hard like a resin.
Okay. All right. And this side is not going to be to use for the food, but then you can just use the back side.
Okay. You're not going to really be able to see the color on here because we're going white on the white ink block, or pad, but you just kind of squeeze. Oh, I guess I could probably show you. When you're first loading up your ink pad, you want to get it loaded up really well. You just kind of, I zigzag back and forth across and just kind of rub it in.
And the cottage color is all natural. It's not going to kill you. It's just not bio-certified. So keep that in mind. Make your own choices on that. The milk paint is USDA bio-certified. It has a very expensive certification. So we can say without a doubt that combined with a tung oil or hemp oil is food safe. And, you know, you need to make your own decisions on that. Our legal team says so.
Well, and you have to wait for cure times too.
Yes. And this is not made to be submerged and scrubbed. So when you wash your cutting board, you're just going to scrub the other side. Do not submerge this in your sink. It's pretty and a jewel, and you need to treat it as such.
All right. So I go one way, and then now I'm going across the opposite direction and just squeezing out a little bit of ink. It doesn't take a ton.
Oh, I pulled off some of that. Do we have 220 or no?
Probably in the drawer over there.
I wanted to stand it a little bit.
All right. Kindest regards. It's basically like a letter in French, I believe, but I don't actually know what it says. It's probably some legal jargon.
It's probably like, hey, my toilet got clogged last week. Can you come fix it? And we're over here like, oh, isn't that so romantic? It's French.
A lot of your legal documents have to do with like land.
Or toilets.
They don't have legal documents.
I know.
Toilets. They didn't have toilets.
I'm just giving a little bit of age to my transfer. Nothing crazy. Just kind of blending it. And what will happen a little bit is sometimes the color from the transfer will come off. So keep that in mind. I don't care because it's just making it even better. So you want me to go over this with the milk paint? Caitlin says submerging any wood is not as advised, which is true. So you want me to go over this? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, we're aging it.
Oh, I was going to use the oil, but that's fine too.
Oh.
Because now you're just putting water over the top.
It's fine. Okay, now it's ready to be sealed. Let's show it to you. How cool is that? And then this side will be all food safe products and can be used for cutting. And this is your pretty side. And you could just hang it on your wall too. All right, I'm gonna let you, and these two are already.
This stamp is unique and not like other stamps in the fact that it's not individual pieces. It's like one big stamp. Let's do the reveal together and see if I shift it or not.
Once you get the ink on, you can use a plastic spoon to distribute it also. Oh, that's cool. Even just like that is cool.
I know, we could just leave it.
But I'm going to keep going if I want to. If you ever don't have an ink pad, you can also, did you tell me you can just take the ink and put it on a plastic like mat and then use the brayer and bray the ink on? So if you have a brayer and you don't have an ink pad, that's all. You can also use paint on an ink pad. It just gives you more of a crisp.
It's not even in French.
What is it, Latin?
It's just English.
Oh. We are so good. How long have we been using that stamp and we've never paid attention to the language?
This is one we haven't actually used in quite a while. They came out with it, I want to say like
Can you
20,
keep them out? Because the ink has a long open time.
2018, 2019 maybe. Yeah. Are you wanting me to do that on this one as well?
Yeah. So this is going to be kind of our inspiration for the boxes we're making, not next week, but the week after. So I'm going to make some big boxes for dining tables and coffee tables and fun stuff like that. Because in the winter, we can't grow flowers outside. So I do a lot of indoor plants and fake floral or faux, however you want to say it. And I like containers for those. We'll have to get some really good glamour shots of this because I think Sally and Josie are really going to like these. If you don't know, Sally and Josie are the sisters who design Iron Orchid Designs. So Caitlin says she has a periwinkle and pothos inside right now. I actually have a pothos in my window in that it's a Wedgwood pudding mold from England that I brought back last year. And I started it from one leaf in water for like 2 months. It grew roots and I planted it. And now I have 5 leaves. I've never been much of an indoor plant person, but I've kept my fiddle fig alive for almost 4 years now. All right, let's figure out
this
what
is a little more subtle on the green, but also still good.
I'm thinking these dainty roses.
And you can do whatever color you want. We're using the white. You could do black. You want me to try black?
You know what I forgot?
This one?
I was going to use what? No, I'm going to use this. Can you put that transfer on there?
Oh, yeah.
Because the picture had words on it, and I saved that to put across there. I had to cut it because it was a little low.
Okay.
So what do you think? Do you think pink on this? I'm thinking that'll be pretty.
Distress it, and we'll
and they have so many of these little options too that I think these are going to be good for my box. I'm going to save those.
So did you dry this again? You got it wet and then you dried it.
Mm-hmm.
You need me to oil it now.
Yeah, but you can put that one more transfer on there and then we'll oil it. I save all my words. I don't always use them with the transfers that they come with. I have like a whole, part of my organizing for the New Year is I really want to go through all of our supplies and get like a baggie with all of my little scrap pieces, get my stamps organized. We're possibly transitioning to filming, making a filming studio at the shop, especially for the Saturday night thrift haul. I think Wednesdays are still fine to do here, but Saturdays, thrift hauls would be so nice to just take the thrift haul straight to the shop, do all the photography there, film there, and then the gals can just simply go upstairs and grab the things to ship and separate orders out. Because right now it goes from the thrift store to my house, dining table, photograph, garage, to the house, to the garage, to the shop. So there's like a lot of transitioning.
It takes a lot of time.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to do like 2. If I just want to center this, I think I want it. Let me look at my picture. You grow spider plants inside. My dad was a spider plant connoisseur. He had a lot of them. We actually have one of his that my mom has all but killed. But I think that it's coming back around. Eliza forgot her socks. So we have to end on time because I've got to go deliver those.
For cheer?
Yeah. Class starts at 11:13.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Eliza.
Does she not have any socks on?
What?
Does she not
She just needs her cheer socks. They're in a pile in her room. I'm just kind of trying to look and see what they've got here. They're kind of centered. But I just feel like that's not chunky enough. I might do this yellow one off to the side. No, that's too yellow.
Okay, so this is tung oil. It will harden.
Of course, I want the one right in the
Just
middle.
like a resin. And you can do multiple coats too, which we might end up doing. It's oil, so it's hard to like heat gun it and get it to dry.
Yeah. It's good to keep on hand if you have a lot of natural wood cutting boards. You should just have some so you can re-oil them as needed.
Okay, and I'm probably going to darken this up a little more than the water because the oil doesn't carry it.
Oil wax is not considered food safe.
No.
Tung oil and hemp oil are. But once it's cured, it's fine. It's like sealing your table, right? Like we have our countertops done with oil wax. They're fine. It's not like it's toxic if food gets on it. But again, use at your own risk. Where did I put my transfer stick?
Maybe I stole it.
Maybe you did.
Okay, we're going to do a spoonful and work up and see where we're at.
I love how the cottage color, especially on raw wood, just like sands so well, even though it has the built-in sealer.
Okay, we got pretty dark there, but when I put it on the board, it will thin out. I don't know if you guys can see. Oh yeah, you can.
This ink was still a little damp. I can tell because it's coming up on my transfer paper. So I might want to heat gun the ink a little longer on. It's still sticking fine, but if this was not raw wood, it might have a problem. Where do you purchase all of your transfers? So all of the transfers we use, any paint products you're seeing here today are available at jamierayvintage.com. Caitlin has been linking quite a few of them down in there. But if you go to jamierayvintage.com, you can find transfers there. Or if you're local to Utah, you can come to our shop in Lehi and see everything in person. Occasionally, we don't have everything on the floor. So if there's something you're looking for in the shop and you don't see it, just let the gals know. They can always pull it from the back if we have it. Sometimes things are out of stock at the manufacturer. We keep a pretty robust stock of all the products that we use.
If we don't have it, it's because we're waiting on the manufacturer to get it back in stock. Or they've discontinued it on us, one of the two.
Oh,
okay, so I left that. You could see the difference between the oil and the water mixture that we stained with, but this is going to seal this up now.
There's like this one random bud on here. Have you ever noticed?
I don't know if you can see the pink coming through now that we actually put the darker suitcase mixture with the tung oil on there. It's looking more pink. It's got like an antique, old aged pink look, which is why we designed vintage pink, the color and lightness that we did, because it's a pretty light pink.
I think we're getting pretty close to the vibe of those inspiration boards, kind of combined with what I saw on the boxes this morning.
I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of this. I like the little bit darker color, and it will, as it dries, it'll tone back.
Yeah.
Because not only is this, I basically created like a food safe stain with the tung oil and the milk paint.
Like a sealer all in one.
Yeah.
You might want to wait a little bit before you do these ones, just because I feel like this ink is still a little wet and you don't want to smear it. I'll dry the other ink a little better before I do it. All right, so here's the black one. And you got to look really close. You can see kind of that script behind it. It's just really soft and subtle. In real life, it's a little bit brighter white, but it's good.
If you've hung out with us this far, hopefully it's coming full circle and you guys can really see what our vision was.
We might do a few different styles of these in the new year. You know, remember when we were like doing all the rolling pins, which we still do, but now we're going to be like stuck on cutting board designs.
I'm going to go set this in the sun and see if it'll dry up a little bit. It should, because that wood's going to absorb it down. Even being painted, it'll absorb down in.
Okay. Now I need to figure out what floral I want to put on here. Oh, that's pretty. I know I do a lot of the pink, but there are a lot of pink in here. I'm just wondering if that's too much green.
This one turned out good.
This one I feel like is too big. This needs to be on something else. Yellow would go good on this too. Oh, those white ones are pretty. Oh, there's lots more little ones back here, so that'll be good for the boxes next week. Okay, I think I'm gonna go white. Careful, don't cut through 2 sheets. That would be so sad. I don't need any of these words because I already have the word stamp on there. What kind of wood are your cutting boards? These are just pine.
These ones are pine. That one is a maple butcher block.
Yeah, we have a maple, but
I don't think you can even see the one I'm pointing at. I'll bring it up.
We could do the same. Like I was just going to leave these natural, but since we're having so much fun, although we're running out of time, it's 10:55.
Yeah,
so
you got.
We'll see if we decide to do these with the transfers on them. We might do it off camera, and then we'll share pictures like we do. Hey, Kelly Weiler, Merry Christmas. All right.
We've done a lot of cutting board makeovers, but I don't think we've done any quite like this.
These are Rose Botanical, Tracy. And if you're really talented at like hand drawing, these would be beautiful with toll painted flowers on them, kind of like our inspiration. Here's one that I blew up. I'm not talented in that department. I mean, I guess I could be if I spent time developing it. Zeb can do hand painted floral.
Some days.
But these are kind of nice because, to be honest, if we had hand painted floral on here, we'd have to charge like way more for the original art. So this gives you the look without the price tag and something you can totally do at home. We have people complaining. They're like, I can't believe you're charging that. I'm like, listen, if I put my blood, sweat, and tears, literally blood, sweat, and tears and something, I'm going to get paid for my time. But we also show you guys how to do it. So that way, if you want to do it yourself, you can.
I don't think you distressed this one. Do you want me to distress it and then oil it again?
Yeah, I forgot to distress that. I kind of like that aged. Everything else is so aged that I almost think it looks out of place to be too perfect. You definitely don't want to oil it before you put the transfer on. You never want oil under your transfer. You're going to, even if it sticks initially, you will have problems.
Oil has
with
to breathe
lifting.
like wax.
Yeah.
Because it will essentially off gas as it cures up and dries.
What is Zeb using? Zeb is using the tung oil blend. It just has a citrus solvent in it, so it just has a little different smell. That's the only difference between it and plain tung oil. Regular tung oil kind of has an unpleasant scent that will go away when it dries, and the blend is citrus.
It also thins it out and makes it run a little smoother.
Yeah.
You're going to use a little more in the long run because tung oil without the lemon oil blend is pretty thick.
And if you don't like the citrus like oils that are in it, then buy regular tung oil. Some people have a hard time with like.
You can see how crusty our top is in our container. We've had this for over a year, and you guys know how many projects we do. We've used it a ton.
So, and you could get away, like if you were doing just a couple of these, just buy a sample. You don't need a whole big thing of it. If you're going to do a lot of projects like us, then invest in the little one or the bigger one, not the little one. Thanks, Kelly. Says it's worth it when it's created by artists. I have a hard time considering myself an artist, but I guess I'm a mixed media artist. All right, here is this one before we distress it. I'm glad I went with that color. So we have kind of different options for florals on these. All right. We have like, you know, I really got to get Eliza's socks to her. So you want to just bring those in here so we can show where we're at, and then you can finish.
Here, let me tongue oil. You go grab those and I'll tongue oil this real
This
fast.
one needs to be distressed real quick. Careful.
Okay. Just real light with the 220. You don't got to go crazy, and then I go both directions so it doesn't look streaky.
And we haven't tongue oiled the back, but we will before we're finished.
I tongue oiled the back of those.
Oh, you did? I think they need more. I think because these have like no paint on them, it's like soaked it up more. So, sorry, they're still kind of shiny. I want to put it how you guys can see it.
Well, they might stay shiny.
Leslie says, if you don't like the prices, move along. I just feel like that's why we show everybody, like we don't gatekeep anything. there's very few things we don't share. We try to let you guys know exactly how you can do it yourself. Okay. So these two, I think we should go ahead and do these two as well because they're fun. Because they could even be like on a centerpiece or like in a coffee table or something. So here's our projects. We'll get these all finished. I've got to run socks to Eliza, but I'll get them photographed
Very
later.
important, Aaron.
Yeah. Cheer socks. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jamie Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
We'll see you guys on the next episode. And don't forget, JamieRayVintage.com. Bye, you guys.